Disneyland Paris recently announced some new information about all the projects coming to Disneyland Paris in 2025, and I cannot wait to tell you about them. Hi everyone, how's life, and welcome to another one of my videos. So yes, a couple of days ago, Disneyland Paris had a presentation where they announced so many new things coming to the parks next year. I was very lucky to be attending it, and honestly, 2025 is going to be a great year for the park. So without further ado, let's start with the main park here, Disneyland Park. Now the first thing, and probably what I'm most excited about, is the new nighttime spectacular show that we're going to be finally getting here in Disneyland Paris, and it's going to be called Disney Tales of Magic. I already love the name, I have to say. Disney Tales of Magic sounds so good. It's going to be starting from the 10th of January 2024, so honestly, at the time of filming this, less than a month away. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel because I will be here for the first night of it. And listen, Disneyland Paris has been in need of a new nighttime show ever since Disney Dreams came out back in 2012. So I cannot tell you how ready I am for Disney Tales of Magic to be here in Disneyland Paris finally. And it's not just going to be because it's a new fireworks show. No, there's going to be a lot of new things happening with this nighttime show. So not only is it going to be your classic fireworks show with projections on the castle, it's also going to use some lasers, pyrotechnics, fountains as well, but also drones. And Disneyland Paris has really put drone shows on the map when it comes to Disney parks. So I'm so excited to see what they do with this new nighttime show, you know, an actual proper long nighttime show with fireworks and projections and drones. And from some of the concept art that we've seen so far and that Disneyland Paris released recently, it looks amazing. I'm so excited about the Toy Story scene especially. I mean, it just looks incredible, and we were very lucky we had a little sneak peek of some of the music as well, and I think I'm going to cry, guys. I think I'm going to cry on the 10th of January 2025. But actually, for the first time ever, Disneyland Paris' new nighttime show Disney Tales of Magic is also going to have projections on the Main Street building, something that Disneyland California has been doing for quite a few years now, and it's very much needed in Disneyland Paris because honestly, unless you're very close to the castle, sometimes you're going to miss a lot of the projections and the details on the castle. So if they have projections on Main Street as well, no matter where you stand for the nighttime show, you should be able to have a nice view, right? Another thing that really excites me about Disney Tales of Magic is that it's going to be an actual original new show. So it's not going to be just like bits of different Disney animations put together to create a show like Disney Illuminations. And if you've been following my channel for quite some time, you would know I'm not the biggest fan of Disney Illuminations. And actually, whilst we're here, let me tell you a few reasons as to why I didn't like Disney Illuminations, because if you're a fan of it, that's fine. I mean, people have different tastes and it's not a bad show by any means, but Disney Illuminations was originally created for Shanghai Disneyland's castle, so it wasn't actually even created for Disneyland's castle. And that already is a problem because instead of having a new show built specifically for our castle here in Disneyland Paris, they tried to modify what already existed in Shanghai Disneyland. And I was very lucky to actually see that original show in Shanghai Disneyland. It was Shanghai Disneyland's grand opening nighttime spectacular in 2016 when the park first opened, and it was definitely much better in Shanghai Disneyland, I have to say. And also another reason is that Disney Illuminations, even the Shanghai version, which was called Ignite the Dream, wasn't ever fully animated for the show specifically. So they literally took different parts of animations, put them together and made it into a show. It doesn't make it bad, but it doesn't make it as good as some other shows before. Like Disney Dreams actually had animators reanimate some of the characters from some of the iconic Disney films like Quasimodo and the scene from Hunchback of Notre Dame in Disney Dreams. Everything was newly animated so that it would work with the castle, and that makes it so much more special than just taking animations that already exist and putting it there, if you know what I mean. So I hope you understand why I didn't like Illuminations. Like I said, by all means, if you love it, that's fine. For you, it might have been the first nighttime show you saw, and I can understand why that would be special for you. It really just technically isn't nearly as good as Disney Dreams ever was, or Disney Tales of Magic is going to be, in my opinion, probably even better than Disney Dreams, which is saying a lot because I love Disney Dreams. But let me tell you a little bit more about Disney Tales of Magic because we actually learned quite a lot the other day. So we already knew some of the characters that were going to be involved in this show, but also now we know more about the storytelling. It's going to actually have a narrative, it's going to have a story, it's going to have a beginning and an ending, and I feel like before we even get into it, it's going to be quite similar to Momentous, the nighttime show in Hong Kong Disneyland, which is incredible. If you haven't checked it out, watch it on YouTube. I was very lucky to see it when I was there recently, and it is one of the best nighttime shows I've ever seen. So yeah, the prologue to Disney Tales of Magic is a tribute to the visual magic that Walt Disney brought to the cinema and into our homes with Pinocchio, Cinderella and Mary Poppins. So we're probably going to be seeing some of these projections on the castle. And then the blue fairy from Pinocchio is going to be a main character in the storytelling of Disney Tales of Magic as well, which I think is going to be so magical. There's going to be themes of friendship, themes of loss, which I think is going to definitely make me cry because Momentous also has a section where it's about losing people and, you know, how special they were to you. And honestly, you should have seen me not trying to cry then. But also about family as well. And actually it's going to be ending with Encanto, which I think makes so much sense because Encanto is all about family, and truly already I'm a fan just based on the concept art we've seen, based on the storytelling that we've heard about so far. And don't get me wrong, there's going to be plenty more surprises to come when we actually see the show on the 10th of January. So I hope you're excited. And something that I know I'm going to be asked a lot is, Sam, how long is this going to be on for? It's open-ended, so it's going to be replacing Disney Illuminations, and Disneyland Paris will always have a nighttime show. And for the past like 10-12 years, it's been either Disney Dreams or Disney Illuminations. attractions, and finally we're going to have a new one, Disney Tales of Magic, and I cannot wait. And make sure you're subscribed to the channel because, like I said, I will be bringing the first night to you as soon as I can, probably on the 11th of January. I mean, look at our castle here, the Sleeping Beauty Castle, the Chateau de Bellebois d'Ormont. It looks so wonderful, and I cannot wait to see what Disney Tales of Magic does with the projections and the fireworks and everything, specifically for the Disneyland Paris castle here. And let me know in the comments down below if you're going to be here on the 10th of January for the premiere of Disney Tales of Magic, or if you're visiting any time in 2025, because like I said, Disney Tales of Magic should be on every evening from the 10th of January onwards, and I cannot wait. But let's move on to the next new thing. Now, the next thing coming to Disneyland Paris in 2025, which I'm also very excited about, especially after the new announcement made the other day, is the Disney Music Festival, starting from the 19th of April 2025 until the 7th of September, so during the spring/early summer months. Now, firstly, based on what we know so far, this sounds like it's going to be a very Disneyland Paris, very original new show coming here. And as the name suggests, Disney Music Festival, it's going to be all about music, which is a big part of the Disney animation films anyway. I mean, even the parks, when you come to the parks, you end up humming along to, I don't know, It's a Small World or the song from Pirates. Like, so much of the Disney experience is about music, and music is a big part of it. So I love that they're doing this, and this also means that there's going to be a lot of live entertainment coming back to the parks here in Disneyland Paris, which we really need them. There was an interview with the show director for the Disney Music Festival coming to the parks in 2025, Mathieu Robin, and he said that not only does he want to create this new show because of the fact that music is important, but also he wanted to pay tribute to the French tradition of the Fête de la Musique, which I think is very cool because obviously Disneyland Paris is in France, and honestly I am so excited about this one. Like I said, when I heard more details about what's going to be happening with the Disney Music Festival, now I'm even more excited. So without further ado, let me tell you a little bit about what we learned. Firstly, there's going to be 12 activations, as they call it, spread around all the lands here in Disneyland Park. So that already gets me excited because quite often with the shows and the seasons that they have in Disneyland Paris, the main area seems to be in Main Street USA or, you know, Central Plaza by the castle. That's where they do the, you know, shows and whatnot. But now we're actually going to have live entertainment and new happenings in all the lands. That includes Adventureland, Fantasyland, where I'm at right now, obviously Frontierland and Discoveryland, and Main Street USA as well. So no matter which area of the park you're in, you should be able to feel the magic and happiness and joy of the music festival. So firstly, as with any of the seasons here in Disneyland Paris, the Main Street station, of course, is going to be decorated with the new color scheming of the Disney Music Festival. So already as you step into the park, you're going to kind of feel the vibe of what's about to happen. Every morning when you step into the park, you're going to be welcomed by Mickey and Minnie with their new costumes, which look amazing, by the way. And Minnie's going to have her own like marching band, so they're going to go down Main Street USA, which is going to look so fun. Oh, truly, I cannot wait for this. I genuinely have missed live entertainment in the parks, and it's something that most of the other parks, most of the other Disney parks worldwide have some kind of live entertainment, whether it's a dapper dance, whether it's a band playing. And in Disneyland Paris, it really has been missing for the past like at least 7-8 years. So I love that as soon as you enter the park, you should be able to see the live entertainment and hear all the music playing. And some more details that we know about Mickey and Minnie is that Minnie will take on the role of a charismatic leader, heading a one-of-a-kind fanfare composed of 12 live musicians who will perform multiple times throughout the day. So that excites me as well, the fact that it's not just one time per day, but you should be able to see it a few times a day. If you miss it at the beginning of the day, there'll be a few more performances throughout the day. So incredible. But of course, it's not just going to be about Mickey and Minnie. No, there's going to be other characters around as well. So Mary and Bert and other characters from Mary Poppins should be around the gazebo as well. So in Town Square area, they'll be there with a live band, and they'll be playing some songs from Mary Poppins, which is going to sound so magical, as well as some from Mary Poppins Returns as well, which I think, if I'm not mistaken, Disneyland Paris will probably be the very first park to actually pay homage in a way to Mary Poppins Returns, a film that I personally really enjoyed. Now, one thing that really excites me is Goofy. Goofy, my bae, is going to have his moment by the castle. Basically, he's going to be Maestro Goofy, and I love his new outfit. Oh my god, guys, he looks incredible. He's going to basically have a show with a castle fountain, so I think he's going to be conducting the fountains in a way. It's almost called like the invisible conductor or something like that, but I'm definitely going to be there to watch it every time. And I have to say, all the outfits look amazing, and they've also released some new merchandise photos of what's going to be available, and I think I'm probably going to have to buy the Goofy plush, even though I've stopped buying plushes for a while now. He just looks too good in his suit and everything. Anyway, we've already talked about Mickey, Minnie, Mary and Bert, Goofy, but we can't forget about the ducks. So Daisy and Donald will also be around the Bella Notte area, accompanied by a live accordionist actually, who will be covering some of the greatest Disney themes, such as Bella Notte. So that's going to be nice to see as well, and they all have new costumes too. And in Fantasyland, where I'm at, close to the Old Mill, you should be able to see Rapunzel and Flynn from the movie Tangled, again accompanied by some musicians. It says they're going to have a 4-piece folk group next to them in the spirit of the village fete. So I'm excited to see that as well. I feel like it's going to have a very nice kind of intimate but fun, party-like atmosphere. Over at Frontierland, we're going to have Miguel's Fiesta Latina, and actually it's going to be Miguel's very first debut here in his mariachi costume, because over the past few years he hasn't been here. He's been in the shows, obviously in Dream and Shine Brighter he was in it, but he was in his hoodie, his red hoodie. Now he's going to actually be there in his costume about to perform, and that one I'm definitely looking forward to, not just because he's going to have his new costume, but also with a live band next to him. I think the music they play there is going to be really cool in Frontierland. Next we get to Adventureland, and Moana's going to be there, and actually there's going to be a chance for you to meet Moana as well, which I know so many of you guys are going to be happy about, and she might even teach you some of the legendary steps from her movie. Another fun thing coming to Adventureland is Timon's Mata Dance, which actually was first created for the Lion King and the Jungle Festival back in 2019. I remember doing it then and really having a great time with it, so I'm really happy that they're bringing that back. Lion King is extremely popular here in France and Europe, so anything to do with that is going to be very popular, so that's going to be cool. But then what about Discoveryland, a land where not much happens in generally, but for the Disney Music Festival there's going to be two new happenings. So firstly, the Disney Music Hits concert at Videopolis Theatre will be happening. It's a rock concert for all the family. There will be 11 artists on stage, 6 instrumentalists and 5 singers, all performing live for a real review, a real tribute to timeless Disney classics, and I think I'm going to really enjoy that personally. I hope they do some fun songs. Some of the old songs, from the 90s would be cool, and I guess it says rock songs, so that'll be interesting to see as well how they do them. It says here we could expect songs like Nobody Like You from Turning Red, which is going to be so much fun, and Try Everything, Gazelle's very iconic song from Zootopia, and some of the more iconic songs from back in the 90s, like I said. So yeah, I feel like I'm going to be there a lot as well. What else could there be in Discoveryland though? Stitch. We can never forget about Stitch here in Disneyland Paris. So yes, Stitch will have his own character meet and greet area in Discoveryland, basically in the Better Arcade. So don't worry, if you're a Stitch fan, you can still meet him during the music festival. I'm guessing he'll have a special background perhaps for the music festival, but overall his appearance is mainly going to be a meet and greet rather than a music thing. Another cool thing that the announcement said is that for all these activations, firstly, guests can take part in them. So you can dance along, you can sing along if you want to, you can meet some of the characters around the parks. They're going with the theme of music brings everybody together, different cultures, different variations, different styles of music, but it can all come together. And actually there's going to be a surprise every single day where at the Central Plaza there'll be something called the Grand Orchestra Finale, so it will link everything that you would have seen across the park together. So I'm guessing all the different characters and musicians in the different lands will come together in Central Plaza for a big grand finale, I guess, and I cannot wait. Maybe something similar to Dream and Shine Brighter or Millions Flashes of Colors, a little bit smaller perhaps. Who knows? We don't really know yet. We just know that it's going to be something big happening every day, in addition to all the small things going on around the park. So, there's a lot happening. Look how beautiful the castle looks, our Sleeping Beauty castle here. It is a gorgeous day here in Disneyland Paris today, and I would love to hear your comments down below as to which of the happenings or activations, I should say, that I just mentioned you're looking forward to the most. Which character are you most excited to see? For me, I think, like I said, Goofy, Maestro Goofy by the castle. I think that should be really fun. I'm excited for Miguel as well in Frontierland. I think Rapunzel and Flynn will be good. I mean, genuinely, I think the whole thing, but I would love to hear your thoughts on that. But of course, it's not just going to be the main park where we're going to be getting some new things in. There's also another park here in Disneyland Paris, believe it or not, which we're going to go to now. There you go, Walt Disney Studios, the black sheep of the Disney Parks family, and soon to be renamed actually in a couple of years' time to Disney Adventure World. But for the time being, it is still called Walt Disney Studios, and you can see the Eiffel Tower there. And there's no denying that Walt Disney Studios Park, or Walt Disney Studios Park as I first named it quite a few months back, is currently not looking its best. It's actually a little bit of a mess with all the walls up, all the construction happening. The Studio One building, which used to be the entrance of the park, has been closed since April of 2024, and this is actually what we're going to be talking about because it should be reopening in the spring of 2025. So what do we know so far about Studio One here behind me? Well, firstly, we know the name that it's going to be changed to, and we've known of the name ever since they closed it back in April of 2024. It's going to be turned into World Premiere, and we've got some concept art showing how amazing it's going to look. It's going to have a very different kind of vibe and atmosphere to what Studio One looked like, which was kind of like behind the scenes, backstage, like a backlot almost. And the idea is that as soon as guests pass through the turnstiles, they will be transported into a vibrant, contemporary open-air movie studio before becoming special guests of a glamorous film premiere in the heart of Hollywood on a starry night. So that's going to be the theming inside Studio One, and from what we've seen so far, it does look like that's kind of the vibe they're going for. It looks pretty good, to be fair. Definitely an improvement from what it used to be with Studio One, in my opinion. And of course, once you get out of Studio One or World Premiere, you're going to be able to discover all the different lands that this park has. Marvel, Avengers Campus, Ratatouille, Toy Story Playland, World of Frozen once that opens in 2026. But the cool thing is we got to see some behind the scenes photos of what's been happening inside Studio One over over the past 6-7 months or so, since April of 2024, since it closed. And it does look pretty amazing. There's going to be some palm trees there, the stars on the ground, different architectures of the facades around World Premiere. They're actually adding a couple of new buildings or facades as well. Remember, like the buildings that you would see when you would go inside Studio One, there's going to be a couple of new ones and some new details as well. So some of the Imagineers that have worked on it, some of the actual animators that have worked on some Disney films, they'll be kind of represented in some way on the facades, on the buildings. So that should be really fun, almost similar to what you see on Main Street USA, where you get to see the names of different Disney legends. So that should be cool. I think just the fact that it's going to be a lot more detailed will be fun for guests like me and you. There's going to be numerous references to Los Angeles, LA, and obviously Disney as a company. The animation building in Walt Disney Studios Burbank is going to be represented in there, which is so exciting. And even cooler is that behind the building's windows, the shadows of the animators' offices will be visible. So it almost will look like they're just there busy working on the next animation. The bubble just went past. But yeah, it's exciting. Like, yeah, the whole World Premiere vibe I can really get on board with. I mean, they had to go with something that would work with the building that they already had. They couldn't obviously start from scratch. And I think they've gone with a really nice retheming. Now, I don't know if you remember restaurant Enquiries in Studio One, which used to be my least favorite quick service restaurant in Disneyland Paris. I actually made a whole video about how much I wasn't a fan of that restaurant, and I'm really happy that it's gone. They have now changed it into a new restaurant. It's going to be called the Hollywood Gardens restaurant, and the concept art looks absolutely gorgeous. I am so excited to dine there. I think it's going to be a quick service restaurant again, and from what one of the cast members said at the Inside Ears event, they will be serving burgers still, but hopefully a lot of other options as well, not just burgers. Maybe some more interesting food will be nice. But the setting, the restaurant itself looks so much better than Enquiries restaurant did, and I cannot wait to see what it looks like in real time. If you ever got yourself a snack or a hot chocolate from the Hepcat corner over in Studio One behind me, well, let's give it a moment of silence because it will no longer be with us. Hepcat Corner is gone. Instead, they have a new snack place called the Searchlight Kiosk, which again looks so much better than the Hepcat Corner. No offense to anybody who liked it there. But in terms of what they offer, it's going to be very similar to what we had before. So a range of snacks and hot and cold drinks. So you'll still be able to get your hot chocolate from there, I'm pretty sure. And then the main shop, if you remember, there used to be a huge shop in Studio One, which I used to go to quite often. And I bought probably quite a lot of things in there. It was kind of the equivalent of, you know, Emporium in Main Street USA. That has now been rethemed to Mickey's of Hollywood Boutique. And it looks amazing. Again, from the concept art that we've seen, some of the behind the photos that we've seen, it actually looks so much more welcoming and modern than what it used to be before. So looking forward to spending more money in there. And then something else that they mentioned as well is the face painting. So they used to have face painting in Studio One. I actually got my face painted there with my friend Lisa years and years ago. And they're still going to have that once it reopens, but they're going to have it more themed. So it's going to look almost like you're going there to, you know, glam up a little bit before your premiere, which is great. You know, any kind of storytelling element in the buildings really helps. And yeah, last but not least, it says that once you get outside of the building, you will arrive in the heart of World Premiere Plaza, an area that brings together theaters, currently celebrating Disney animation and Pixar stories in a stylish setting. So cannot wait to see all of this. But one thing that we know for sure is that this over there, Studio One, or World Premiere as it's going to be called, from 2025 should be opening in spring of 2025. We don't have an actual date yet, but sometime in spring. So between March and June, I would say. I'm thinking probably more close to June, but we'll see. Either way, I can't wait to see it. It's hard to believe that in just maybe about 5 or 6 months time, we're going to be able to step into Studio One again, and it's going to look entirely different to what we used to know. But with that being said, we have come to the end of this video. 3 new things happening in Disneyland Paris. Of course, Disney Tales of Magic, which is probably the thing that I'm most excited about, the new nighttime show starting as early as the 10th of January. So like I said, less than a month's time. And then we've also got the Disney Music Festival, which sounds like so much fun. It's going to bring so much joy and live entertainment to the main park over at Disneyland Park. And last but not least, Studio One over there is going to be reopening in spring of 2025, and it's going to be called World Premiere with a new dining experience, loads of new stuff going on in there. The shopping experience is going to be different, and I cannot wait for all of this. But that doesn't mean that there's not going to be other new things coming to Disneyland Paris next year. These are just 3 of the major things that Disneyland Paris recently announced and gave us some more details about. But make sure you subscribe to my channel, because as soon as there's more news coming or more information and details about the things that we've already heard about, I'll be sure to share them with you guys. And also follow me on Instagram as well, because sometimes I tend to share things earlier there before I manage to edit the videos and put them up on YouTube. And thank you so much to my lovely Patreon members and my YouTube members as well for supporting the channel. Thank you to you guys for watching the video. Merry Christmas, and leave a comment down below and let me know when you're coming to Disneyland Paris next and what are you most looking forward to. Thank you guys. Bye bye.